Welcome to another episode of Until It's Done, a devoted podcast. I'm your host, Dana Lynn Kay, and this is part 2 with my two lovely ladies here. I have Teresa Parent and Tonya Spanglo here in the studio with me. We just recorded part 1 with Teresa. If you missed it, it was last week because we're going to be doing 2 of these in a row. Go back. I urge you to listen. It is such a powerful conversation. You guys are going to love it. Tonya was even in on the second half of it. There's so much powerful information in there that you can apply. Not only just listen to Teresa's story. It's a story of really like rising above, changing your life. It was phenomenal, Teresa.
It was.
So welcome back, ladies.
Hey.
Thank you. Hey.
This episode, we're going to start with Tonya.
Okay.
If you don't know Tonya, Tonya is, man, you're like a firecracker.
No, with Teresa, you were like, you are so sweet. And then I knew you were going to be like, you're a firecracker.
I'm like, all right.
You're sassy.
4th of July.
Yeah. A little sassy.
Yeah, a little sad. No, but I'm telling you, lady, I mean, people love you because of your spunky personality. You're fun. She has all the energy that she puts out on social media. She really does have it. Mm-hmm. It's not a show. But yeah, Tonya and I now go back. We met in person a little while ago. You had already been using Devotion and all of that. And we had already clicked, but we couldn't wait to meet each other in person. And we met and it was like, it was great. It was just instant connection, and we've been having a lot of fun ever since. We've been to a few things together, but now having you here in Florida, on a brand trip. Just if you didn't listen to the other episode, the ladies are here. They've been doing, this isn't just a podcast. This is like a whole brand trip.
Mm-hmm. It's been so fun too. Like it's been amazing. I know we've had such a good time. She's working us to death, but no, she's not. But we've had
running
such a
her
good
warehouse.
Time. Yeah, I know. Yeah. We were like, "Can we go do pack boxes?" And she was like, "What?" And we're like, "Can we go fill orders?" And she was like, "What do you mean?"
I felt awkward at first. I was just like, I want to have some content of you guys packing boxes, and I didn't want to say like, I'm putting you to work, because that was like, I'm not going to do that. And then they were like, no, we want to like take orders. Like they went on lives and they were really in real time packing hundreds of orders.
Well, that's been like my favorite.
Yeah, in the comments, they're like, what are y'all doing? Like, are y'all actually? And then they're like, oh, go fill my order. And we filled so many orders.
Hundreds.
Yesterday and today, so many. Yeah, sign the boxes, all of that. So that was a blast.
I mean, they had the real experience. Mm-hmm. And I always thought that would be fun because you guys are there on your platform showing products that you're using, inspiring people to make recipes and use products and do things, which is amazing. You're helping people come up with these like different things to help change their life, to help change the course of like the things that they're choosing throughout the day, like eat this, not that, like those types of things. But then like once a person places an order, you're like, okay, well, I don't know, like what happens, So now you got to like actually come and see where we fill the orders.
Yeah, and it was fun. And your shipping team was just watching us like, what are y'all doing? Like
they were, yeah,
you are not
get these ladies out of here.
You are not, you're using too many peanuts.
No, they were next level amazing. Yeah. They were anticipating our needs, running and grabbing a box, like the right sizes. Like if they saw us doing something, they were like, we got you. Here's the peanuts, fill the box. Like it was just so amazing. We were like, we asked you yesterday, can we do it again today? And we got to do that again today. Yeah. And it was just incredible to see the way your team works together, right? It was amazing to see the whole process. Were like, we have your boxes ready. We've got this. You guys get the orders and it was like teamwork and we just met them.
Yeah.
So it was definitely teamwork. So, it was not tiring. Like I enjoyed it.
It was so much fun. It was amazing that we were physically able to do that, to run around and stand there for hours of bending and lifting and doing all the things. Like, I think that was really, really cool. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be able to be on a concrete floor in a warehouse. Like,
where we couldn't have.
No.
We couldn't have.
Teresa took a second today. We were live and she stopped and I heard her. I was packing something, but I was listening. I'm a multitasker. And,
yes, ma'am.
And she was like, okay, so a few years back, we would not have been able to do this. And she's right, because I couldn't do my laundry in the same day. Like I could wash and dry, but I could not fold and put up. Like I had to split that up.
Wow.
I could not grocery shop and then put the groceries up. So Bobby and I split that up. I couldn't clean my house in one whole day. Like I had to do just the bathroom, just the bedrooms, just the sheets. I was out of breath in, 2 minutes maybe, and I was out of breath. I was in such bad health and such bad shape, and I was young.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking 20s, 30s, that's young.
That's young.
I mean, especially young now. Like now that I'm 46, I'm like, oh, 46 is young. Like it is. Like back when I was 20, I was like, oh my goodness, 40 is old. And now I'm like, no, it's young.
No, but to not be able to do that stuff in your 20s.
Well, because right now I'm the oldest I've ever been, but I feel the youngest.
Yeah.
Like we have all this energy today.
Yeah.
We could never have.
You guys have so much energy. You're running me ragged. Like you guys.
Well, and that's what a lot of people say that too. They're like, is she really I think somebody's even asked you that. Like, is she really like she is on the internet?
Oh, she is.
Like, and she's like, yes, she's crazy. Like, she never shuts up. She never, she runs all over the place.
But okay, so I will say this because people don't know that. I can genuinely say, yes, she is a firecracker, but this woman is the sweetest human I've ever met. Like,
oh, Tonya's amazing. Yes,
an angel. And anybody who says, oh, she's sassy, she has an attitude. No, she has a heart of gold first, but she will call you out, honey. If you see a man checking somebody out in the grocery store, she will tell him, sir, look the other way. She will check them for you.
Tried to even say something to Bobby the other day on the phone.
I did.
Stop.
She was actually, I said, hello, Bobby.
But she said it in a sexy voice.
Oh, my God.
And she's all, hello, Bobby. And I'm like, no, we're not. You can turn around real quick. I'm that jealous wife. I'm the jealous wife, but I have no reason to be.
No, he's amazing.
Yeah, I'm the jealous wife, but I have no reason to be. So,
but she's the sweetest human in the world and loves everybody. She really does. She's the best person.
You guys wouldn't do what you do if you didn't have big hearts. I mean, to get on and be vulnerable and to share your life and to share what you're doing and to share your journey. I mean, there are people who keep to themselves. They do them and they don't worry about helping other people. They don't worry about getting on and sharing. I mean, to do that and to take time out of your day every day to join people on lives, to give advice, Tonya, I've heard some of your lives, like there are some mornings that I'll be on the treadmill or something, I'll flip open and I'll see Tonya's on live, so I pop in, you'll see me sometimes, I say, hey, you're like, hey, Dana, but I'll hear you giving these motivational speeches and you don't have to do that stuff, like you do it because you honestly care. I mean, you're getting people out of this victim mindset or this I can't do it mindset or it's not in the cards for me mindset, and saying like, what, and I've heard you give that tough love.
I know. I had a woman make a video about me yesterday. Speaking of that tough love. Yeah. And she's lost over 200 pounds.
Wow.
And not because of me, but since she started following me, but not because of me. Like, I don't take credit for anybody losing weight. I don't take credit for that. Sure. I can only take credit for me losing weight and the work I physically do. Yes. But she said on the video, I started following Tonya because she's lost a massive amount of weight. And then I followed her, but she was in her driveway walking, and she was like, get up off your butt and get outside and walk and get out from the TV, stop eating chips, stop drinking pop. And she was like, I was like, this is the meanest woman on earth. I'm unfollowing her. And she was like, but I didn't unfollow her. Good. I got up. And she was like, I watched her for a little bit. And she would walk every morning, and she would say, I say like the same things. I just say what's on my mind. Like, I think I have a different message every day, but I just go about it the same way. I walk. I talk to God when I walk. I talk to people on TikTok, people on Instagram, whoever's listening. Even if it's just one person, that's enough for me. Yeah. It's never just one person, but even if it was, that would be okay. But in the video, she said, I didn't unfollow her. I kept going. She's over 200 pounds down, and she walks crazy. She's about to do a marathon. She's about to do a marathon. And she's lost, like, she was like, I never could have done this if she didn't tell me to get up off my butt. So there's a little bit of something to that.
There is something to it.
Tough love is, for me, I tell people every day, be honest with yourself. Yeah. Being honest with yourself is something I never did, because I would say, okay, let's try Slim Fast. Let's try Atkins. Let's try Dexatrim. Let's do keto. Let's do all of these things. But I was never honest with myself. And I would always binge eat. I would always still eat the same old way. And that's what I say. Like, you do the same thing. Why are you expecting different results?
And would you say like, oh, but I've been trying, and the weight isn't coming off, but really?
Right, you're really not, because you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're self-sabotaging is what you're doing. Yep. But you're not at a spot. Like, for me, to lose weight, I had to get to the rock bottom. I had to get to a rock bottom spot. If I never would have had, and it was a single day, like Teresa in her episode, it was a single moment in her life. And it was a single day for me. I'll make the story short. I'll try to, but I was at home, and my dad had passed away, and I had stopped working at the school. I used to work at the school for 15 years. I worked with pre-Kers, and I had my mom. My mom had Alzheimer's. And I had Mila. That's my grandbaby. And she was 6 months old. And so I'm home with them every day, Monday through Friday. I helped Kylie out, and she had to work, and I watched Mila because they can't afford. I mean, nobody can afford. People, it's two family. It's a two, both the mom and the dad working in this day and age. That's just how it is. And childcare is so expensive. So I watched Mila, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But at over 400 pounds, I could barely get up. So it was fine when she was a baby because I held her all the time, and she was so spoiled because I never put her down because I couldn't get up to get to her. So I just held her all the time. Yeah. And she started crawling. She started to crawl. And she was 6 months old, and she was in better shape than me. I could not keep up with her. She would go all around my house and crawl, and I couldn't bend over to pick up a crumb that she would try to get. So I was literally stuck. I want to watch her, but she could choke on something, and I can't bend over to even get her. I was in such bad shape. Wow. Then top of that my mom had horrible Alzheimer's. It's progressed now at this point, and we had bells on the doors and locks, and she was trying to get out and all of these things. And we had a day come. Mila was crawling all around the house. My mom was there, of course, because she lived with us. And I had laundry. Laying over here on the ottoman. And I don't know why. I still don't know. I will go back to that day until the day I die. I don't know why I did this. For some reason, I got down on the floor. And Mila was fine. She was right next to me. But then she crawled away. And I could not get up. For an hour, I tried over that. I tried to get up. I was in a full sweat. My shirt was wringing. I can go back. Just talking about it, it takes me right back to that. And I know the very spot in my house it is because I look at it all the time. I was on the carpet. My furniture was different, but my shirt was wringing wet with sweat. My hair was soaking wet. That's how much I was sweating profusely. Well, Mila is way down the hallway. She's so far away from me in my house. I cannot get up.
Oh, my gosh.
My mom is heading towards the front door. My mom was always trying to escape. That's what people with Alzheimer's do. Right. I could not get up.
Oh my gosh.
So in my mind, I thought, this is what's going to happen. You're 42 years old, and your mom, we live right by the busiest road ever. People fly down our road. Your mom is going to go get run over. She's going to take Mila with her. In that moment, gosh. I was 42, and I could have lost my grandchild and my mom in a split second. Yep. Because I would not stop eating. I would not stop binge eating. I just never put myself first. I don't know why. I just never thought I was worthy. I never thought I could do it, so I didn't do it. Yep. I didn't believe in myself. Yep. I had to call my husband to come and get me. Bobby, being the love of my life forever, has never said a word about my weight. I've always been bigger than him. Wow. I never was the one in high school that could wear his Letterman's jacket because my jacket was bigger than his jacket. Never could wear his sweatshirt like all the cute girls. I was always the biggest one in school. Couldn't even fit in the desk barely. I was always so big. This man never said a word about my weight. Wow. And we just went on living life. That's just what you do. You just go on living life. He was like, what do you mean? Just get up. And he was getting a little perturbed, I could tell. And I was like, I can't not get up. I had wedged the ottoman against the fireplace, thinking that would give me leverage. So I have nerve damage in my right leg from a surgery I had. That's why I can't feel this leg. And so that's why I could not put pressure on this leg. So I physically could not lift up a 430-pound body.
Oh, my gosh.
He came. He got me up. He shook his head the entire time. He never said a word to me. He left. He never said a word. Wow. But the disappointment in his eyes,
Powerful.
He was so disappointed in me. And he was thinking the same thing I was thinking. You have a 6-month-old child, you have your mother, and you're younger than your mother. My mother could outwalk me by a mile. We would go to Walmart, and I would have to hold her hand, squeeze it, so she wouldn't take off and get away from me, because that's how Alzheimer's people do. Right. She could run to the car. I couldn't run to save my life. And so that was it for me. That was it. That was the moment that changed my entire life. Wow. And the very next day, Bobby had a guy at his job that had weight loss surgery. He came home from work that night, and I said, I'm getting weight loss surgery. Which of course, he was like, what do you mean? We'd never even talked about weight loss surgery. I had wanted it. My sister had it already, and I had wanted it. And he knew I wanted it, but we never really sat down and like had a full conversation because I just didn't think I would ever go to what I thought at that time was that extent.
Right.
Like, am I actually going to have surgery to lose weight because I physically can't do it? That was the old me thinking. Like, now I know people get weight loss surgery for all kinds of reasons.
Sure.
You know, you might have someone that's just diabetic. Like, there's so many reasons for weight loss surgery. It doesn't just, you don't have to be 600 pounds to get it. Like, that way of thinking is the old way of thinking. Yeah. The next day, I called the surgeon that the guy at Bobby's work had used. I got my consult. I gave up pop. I was addicted to Coca-Cola. Wow. So we live right by Sonic. It's like 2 minutes from my house. I would get 5 Route 44 Sonics a day of Coke. That's how much Coke I drank.
Holy cow.
I never touched water. I hated water. I told you that the other night.
Yeah.
We never had water as kids. We had Tang, Nestle Quick. Yeah. We had Country Time lemonade. I've never drank water. I don't like water. And so I gave up Coke. I gave up Funyuns. I gave up Hershey's with almonds. That was my vice. Those were my things. Every night. About a whole bag of Funyuns, a regular huge bag. I would eat a whole bag of Funyuns. Like, the kids would be asleep. Bobby would be asleep. I would be up eating the house down. I could eat everything in the pantry. Shove the wrappers down in the trash. Yep. But they knew.
They knew.
Like, Bobby would be like, where did the chips go? Like, we had 3 bags of tortilla chips. Where are they? Like, we just bought them. I ate them all. Like, I was so addicted to food. And I don't want to say was so. Because food addiction is something that it does not just go away. It just doesn't. It's so hard. Like, I feel like I'm battling every day to not be a food addict. You know, there are people in the world that don't think about food 24 hours a day, and then there's people like me who do. Yeah. And honestly, until I was an adult, I didn't know the difference. I thought everybody thought about food 24/7.
Same.
And they don't. Like, there are people that are like, what's food noise? I'll talk about food noise on my page. What is food noise? Like, what are you talking about? What, you think about food all the time. What? Like, I forget to eat. And I'm like, who forgets to eat?
That when people say they forget
literally,
to,
I'm like,
I'm eating lunch thinking about snack before dinner and then thinking about dinner before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been so busy I couldn't eat. Sure. But I've never forgotten about it. Like, I mean, it's food for me all day, every day. Yeah. But now it's just healthier versions of food. Like, devotion has changed my entire life because it's carbs and sweets for me. Yeah. It's always been the carbs and the sweets. Yeah. And I can make anything with the devotion, and it doesn't taste chalky. It doesn't taste like, you know, you've seen people make things and you're like, you can tell they don't like that. Like, they're making something, they do not like that. Right. You can tell. And it doesn't even look good. Everything that we make, we love. Like, I'm like, Teresa, write this recipe down and go make it. And she's like, you got to make this. Like, you've got to make this. Like, we talk about it all the time because we love it. Right. Like today, making the bagels. Like, I love bagels. Bread is the thing for me. Yes. I'm not going to go without bread. You know, lots of people think, oh, well, these ladies, to lose that much weight, yes, they had surgery, but they must be sitting around living on salad and plain water and
boring foods, just, deprivation, like you're deprived
they're
now.
Eating carrots and hummus, like just all the time. Yep. No, we are having pizza, we're having dessert, we're having ice cream.
Every day. We are dessert girls. We have dessert every single day.
You can take a lot of things away from me, but you're not taking away dessert. No. Like, you're just not.
Same.
But so for me, like, the way that I am as a grandma now, that's my why. Like, I want to say it's for me. I want to say that I lost weight for me. And I did. I did lose weight for me finally. But for me, it's Mila is 5 years old. Everly is 3. Tough is 1. Those are my grandchildren. I have Ella on the way next month. I can go down. I will take Mila to the park so I can go down the slide. I can climb up. We have huge slides in our town. I can climb all the way up to the top, and I can slide all the way down with her. And I mean, I take it for her, but I'm like, I can go down the slide. So I'm going down the slide. Yeah. We'll go to the splash pad. I'm in a swimsuit. Never with my kids did I act that way. I never went anywhere with my kids. I missed out on so much. And those are all, people are like, why didn't you do it for your kids? Like, why did you wait till you had grandchildren? Like, that's kind of selfish for your kids missed out on this. They did. But you know what? I say, I can't change that. I cannot take all of those years back. I can't take back Bobby taking Callie and Zach to Six Flags, and I didn't go because I couldn't fit on the ride. So I didn't want to be mortified and embarrassed in front of everyone. Plus, I couldn't walk around an amusement park. Are you kidding me? Like, there's no way I could have done that. I would have been sweating profusely. My feet would swell out of my shoes. I had to wear flip-flops all year round, all the time, because I could not fit in shoes. My feet were so swollen all the time. Wow. The first time I tried to go walk at the track, when I got on what I would call, like, you think it's a weight loss journey, and it is a weight loss journey. But you don't realize losing the weight is the least of it. Like what you find yourself.
Yeah.
You find the love of life. Like you just find so much joy. We stood on the beach this morning and we just watched the sunrise and listened to the ocean. And I just thought to myself, I could have never, because it was like a 10-minute walk. I would have missed that.
Yeah.
Old Tonya would have missed that. Old Tonya would not be here in Florida because I could not fly. I could afford 2 seats. I would have to buy 2 seats. Like there's no way.
Yeah.
We've never been on vacation. The old me, we'd never took a family vacation because Tonya can't. Like my family missed out on so much. And I never realized it is a thing. Like I think I did subconsciously just push that down. Yeah. Like I was always the biggest mom at the class parties. I always went, but I had to stand, always went to the ball games, but had to sit at the bottom of the bleachers because I couldn't climb up them, or I would sit in my car even if I could and watch it.
Wow.
And so it's like I missed out on so much with my kids, and they missed out on that, but my grandbabies are not. Like that's the now. I can only focus on the now. And I know like I'm the best grandma I can be right now.
You
like,
are.
I'm the best grandma I can be. And I love it. Like my life revolves around my grandbabies, and I just love it. That's my purpose. Like that's what I've always just been meant to do. I've always loved kids, but my grandkids, if I could have had those before my kids, I would have. I would have. No, I mean really. And
what's your approach with the grandkids? Like, are you now going to make sure that you're teaching them the healthy lifestyle and all the things?
Yeah, so we've started that. Like Mila's 5, and she loves flavored waters, and so I make the waters all over everywhere. Those went viral. Like those were on Good Morning America, and they've been in all the magazines and all that. She loves cotton candy water. She hasn't had juice in forever. Like she doesn't want it. Things like that. And not to say that kids can have juice, but it's just like I said earlier. We grew up on Nestle Quick. Yeah. We grew up on Tang. Sugar, 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 constantly sugar, sitting in front of the TV. We watched TV constantly. I was not active as a child. I'm more active now at 46 than I was when I was 6. Like I was not active. That just wasn't the life that we lived. We sat in front of the TV and we ate. That's what we did. And so with Mila, when she comes over, I make a point to turn the TV off. She doesn't even know the difference because that's what we've been doing now for a long time.
Right.
Now she'll get her iPad out some and she wants to watch it if she has a sleepover and listen to her music, little sound stuff. But we will go get in the hot tub and we'll have a hot tub party and we'll go slide. We'll go to the park. We went to the jump place. Like that's a trampoline park. We've gone all over places. And I want to do those things with her. Like that's what it's about, I think, is, it's not a teaching her a healthy lifestyle. It's just what you do. Like we have water all the time. We have not bought juice since she was a baby. We don't buy juice. And that's just how, she drinks milk. But I just think it's important to not let her sit in front of the TV and eat, because that's what I did. That's how I started out being a food addict. And I had a lot of stuff happen in my childhood with my parents. Went through lots of things that people go through things. Like I can't use that as a crutch. Lots of people are like, well, like what you said earlier, well, my mom and dad do this, so I got to do this. Well, they smoke, so I smoke. Or they went to prison, so I'm going to prison. Whatever it is. Yep. You got to be a chain breaker. You got to be the stop to it. Like you have to be that generation, just because your family grew up this way doesn't mean you have to.
Exactly.
Just because your family grew up in front of the TV eating themselves to death, basically, doesn't mean that you have to or your grandkids have to. Get up and get out of the house.
Want more for yourself.
Yeah, like get
up.
And
if you recognize that what they were doing was not a positive thing.
No. Oh, it wasn't.
Don't play the victim and say, well, I guess that's just what's in the cards for me. No, it's not.
It's not. My husband is a prime example of that. He's a chain breaker. He's a generational breaker of all the things that his family's ever put him through and never done. He is like, I decided I wanted more and I went and got it.
Love that.
And that's how his is with just life in general. But me is more so with the weight loss. It did start with the weight loss. But now for me, I want to go walk. When I started this, you think I wanted to get up and go walk 3 miles? I couldn't even walk half a mile when I first started. And then I walked up to 5 miles. If I want to walk 5 miles, I can. I want to though, because I can. Yeah. Like if you think of everything of like, well, I got to go make this protein coffee. I got to go make this devotion waffle. I got to go walk because that's what you got to do. You're never going to be successful if you don't change your mindset. And positivity feeds on positivity. Negativity feeds on negativity every time. My grandma used to say, when you go looking for the negative, you'll find it every time, Tonya. And she's right. Yep. Like if you go looking for the negative and you're negative, your life's going to be negative. And I'm just not that way anymore. I used to be depressed, and I was so negative, and woe is me, and why am I overweight, and why do I got to be the biggest mom? It was because of my choices. I just didn't want to have any accountability. It was all my choices. Now I'm so much more like, and even Bobby, he'll say, you need to sit down. Like what she said in hers. He was like, you have not sit down. Be a Saturday, we're home all day. I be bopping around the kitchen. I painted a wall over here. I moved the dresser over here. I moved the furniture rug. I took the rug up, deep cleaned. Never would do that before. And he was like, you have not sit down in 8 hours. Like you don't ever stop. You need to just take a breath. And I'm like, I don't want to, because for years, the bigger part of my life, like all I did was sit and eat. And now I'm like, I can do all these things. Like, so let's,
I'm like,
let's
I
go.
can do it. Like, you don't take that for
And
granted anymore.
he'll be like, you are so different. Like, it's so crazy.
How has your marriage changed? Because your husband sounds
Baby,
like an
don't get
amazing
me
guy.
started on that marriage.
I mean, first of all,
it is
shout
so
out
hot
to your
and smoky.
husband for, I mean, the fact that he's been such a support. I love that, because like you said, I mean, first of all, in the bariatric community, divorce is like the divorce rate after you go through that dramatic weight loss. Many relationships, marriages don't survive.
Well, I just looked that up. And so that's funny that you bring that up, because, you know, the world wants to be negative. The world does. Let's just be real about that. So when you look up the divorce rate after bariatric surgery, it's so high.
Yes.
But what they don't tell you is this. So are the people like this one right here that have found new loves. They don't, and they're in relationships for the very first time.
Yes.
Or gotten out of something that was
toxic.
And now they've found a new love. Like that statistic is just as
Some
high.
of those people needed to get a divorce,
Yes,
because
but
they
you
weren't
won't
being
hear
supported
that.
and they were being enabled, and they weren't. And in fact, they're in relationships with somebody who doesn't want to see them change and get better and get healthier. Like they wanted to stay in that situation. So it's like they should have gotten divorced, because probably the marriage was what was keeping them.
It was toxicity, like feeding, toxic. And you are going to have those people, like, you know, the husband or the wife wants to change and the other one doesn't, because they love being a couch potato and they love watching Netflix and eating chips and drinking pop and all that. And they don't want to change. They don't have to. I'll say that. Like, they don't have to. But for it to work, they do. Like, they don't have, I'm not saying it can't work if one of them's not willing to change. Right. But like with Bobby, let's say, he literally say, like I was just telling, like, I'm like, let's go to Colorado. Let's book a flight. Let's go hike. Let's go to the lake and walk on the beach. Let's go. And he's like, oh my gosh. Like, we have done is sit for 30 something years.
Is he excited?
He loves it. He said, I wish that you would, one day we were at a Mexican restaurant in our town eating. And I don't know what made him tell me this. And this is basically the only thing he's ever said about my weight. And I'd already lost the bulk of my weight at the time he said this. And I had a lot of energy that day. And I had like painted 2 walls out of nowhere. Went and bought black paint and painted, like just crazy stuff. I'm always moving something around at the house. And he said, why didn't you do this when the kids were little?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he never had said anything like that. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, like, do you realize how much we could have went and done? Yeah. Like, we could have been that family that vacationed if we could have afforded it. But we could have done everything, like all of this. And he said, I wish you would have done that. And he said, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. And he's not ever hurt my feelings about my weight, ever. But he said, I wish you would have done this when the kids were little. Because think of how much better it would have been. Well, in that moment, I just broke down and cried. Because I knew it. But then when you hear somebody, it's like when you write something down or say it out loud, you've been thinking it your whole life. But then when your husband says that, and he was like, I didn't mean, like, I wasn't trying to hurt you, but I was just boo-hooing in the Mexican restaurant, because I was just like, oh, like, that's so true. Like, if I would have done this 20 years ago, think of the life my kids could have lived, you know? That's my only regret. My only regret is that I did not do it sooner. I would do it over tomorrow. You tell me to go get weight loss surgery tomorrow, I'd do it. Yeah, I would do it. And I've had skin removal since then. I'm 8 months out from skin removal. I had the fleur-de-lis, and I had a 360 body lift. And I had the fat that they took off of my stomach. They took 20 pounds of skin off my stomach.
Wow.
So the good fat that was in that, they put it into my breast, and I had a breast lift with that.
Okay.
And so I did all that. I'd do it tomorrow. Yeah. I would do that surgery tomorrow. I mean, there was nothing about that was easy. Yeah. But those are 2 life-changing moments for me, that skin, like, I thought with the weight loss surgery, I lost the weight. But then you're left with this loose skin.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I thought, and I even said on social media, because people will throw that in my face all the time. I did say, like, I'm wearing this skin with the badge of honor. Like, this reminds me what I don't want to go back to. And I'm going to keep this loose skin. I'm not getting it removed. It's a badge of honor. Like, that's just what you do. Well, that was my in the meantime. Like, that was my, like, seasons, like what she said. It's seasons. There was a season when I had to keep that loose skin. Well, then the opportunity came to get it removed. And I struggled with that because I thought, I just don't know. Plus, I'm a baby when it comes to surgery.
Yeah, it's
and
not easy.
That is one that Bobby was like, I don't know about this. Not like you. I don't know. We're going to hire somebody to come to the house. Like, I got to work and I can take care of you. Yeah. I'm a big baby. And I always get sick with surgery. And so I always have to stay extra days in the hospital because I get super nauseous and I'm allergic to the anesthesia and all that.
Yeah.
So it's just terrible. But finally made the decision to do it. And that surgery, it's like another life. Like, totally. You lose the weight, the bulk of it. You have the loose skin, but man, life is so good. Like, life is so good. You are walking, you are thriving, you're making love to your husband all night long. Like, you're doing all the things that you could not do before. Yeah. You're being the best grandma, going to the grocery store, putting them up, all these things that people who have never been overweight, they take such for granted. Yep. They have no idea what it's like to not be able to go to a movie theater because you can't fit in the seat unless the arms go up. They have no idea what it's like to not ride a roller coaster with your kids your entire life. Like, they're my kids' entire life. I never got to ride a roller coaster with them, and they went to Six Flags every year. Wow. But I rode a roller coaster with my husband now as an adult. And so it's just, people just don't understand those little things, tying your shoes, doing all the just little basic things. Yeah. But the skin removal, I finally decided to do it. And that brought a whole level of confidence. I've never been a confident person. Now, I'll make you laugh, and I've always had great hair. Like, those are my two things. I was always the funny fat friend. In every friend group I've ever been a part of, I was always the biggest, and I was always funny. Like, that was my thing. You are. Humor. Like, I just tried to always have humor, And then I always had really good hair. And so that was what I was known for. And now I'm just like, and some people, like, I got a comment yesterday, and I try not to ever let the comments get to me. Yeah. I try not to ever. Because if you're going to be on the internet, I mean, you do need thick skin to do that, And be on there and be vulnerable and be real, and nothing is scripted. It's just fly by the seat of your pants, just real raw moments. Because those are the people I'm looking for. Like, the people that I follow are not scripted. Their homes are not perfect. Like, it's just, one day they're in a mom bun and moo-moo, and the next day they're looking decked to the nine. Like, those are the people I follow. So that's the content that I put out. It's just real and raw and honest. I got a comment that said, you've changed. You're so conceited. And you think you're a lot prettier than you are. That's what she said.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it was a little transformation.
Didn't see this one coming.
It was a little transformation video that I did. And for 1 minute, I was like, how dare you? Yeah. Because if you knew how many times I've sit and cried in my house while I'm surrounded by chip bags and little Debbie snack cake bags, and my kids and my husband are asleep, and I'm eating myself to death. And now I make a transition video, and you think I'm too conceited? Why? Because now I'm smaller than you? Because that is usually what it is. It's a reflection.
Yes.
People that put negative comments, it's what they're going through. And they're pushing that onto us. Maybe they want to lose weight and they can't. So she is sick of me because I've done it. Like, that happens all the time. And it makes me so upset because, and this is just me being honest, like, I cried over that comment last night.
Really?
Yeah. When I went to bed, I was by myself and I cried over that comment and I woke up and I went straight to that video and looked at that stupid comment. It's wrecked me for like 10 hours. Because I think, what if I am conceited?
You are certainly not.
But then I know that I'm not. But it's those comments, they hurt so bad. Like, they do.
And yet somebody like me sees that video and I'm like, look how happy she is. Like,
I know, but it just wrecks you for just a minute.
Oh my God.
It sinks into you. People don't realize, like,
no, they don't.
Words hurt so much more than, like, words can cut you like a knife. Yep. And that comment cut me because I thought, oh my gosh, what if she's right? Like, what if I went and, like, I'm too proud of myself. But then I'm like, what in the crap am I even thinking? No, I'm not too proud of myself. No. Like, I love myself for the first time ever.
And you should be proud of yourself.
It's just.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why See, it's a reflection of what that person is feeling.
It is, and I know that.
It really is.
But to say that those comments never get to me, that's a lie, because they do.
Yeah.
Like, it got to me.
You're
last night,
human.
you know?
Just because you guys have a big platform or people love you, and it doesn't make you not human. And it doesn't make you not, I mean, already I just said you have such big hearts to be doing even what you're doing, you know? It's not like you having this platform, showing up every day. You're a movie star that's being paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to just show up for an appearance and wave and smile and then get put in a magazine and people can comment. Well, it's like, well, I mean, you know, no, you're not doing it for that. You're doing it because you're showing up for people, and you're also showing life after literally being a prisoner in your own body. I've now sat here and listened to both your stories where your life sounds like a person who was a prisoner. When you hear about a prisoner coming out and I've been in jail for 20 years and now I get out and, oh my God, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm doing this thing. I mean, you guys have a new lease on life. You were a prisoner in your own bodies, and now to not be celebrating that, I would feel sad for you if you weren't celebrating, if you weren't excited and showing off your outfits that you now are fitting into in a whole, I mean,
that was a fitted dress.
that's a big deal.
40 something years I've gone not wearing a fitted dress.
And you look amazing.
You know, it's those things though.
But your moment of being happy and celebrating yourself, that person couldn't relate.
And that was their moment of like, I'm not there and I hate it that I'm not there.
So I need to bring you down to where I am because I don't feel so good about myself. So guess what, honey? You're going to come back down with me. And because
people like you and I would never look at the video like that. We would think, oh my God, look how happy she is. Like, this is amazing.
Yes.
Because we feel comfortable and we're happy and we're on our own journeys and we're worried about ourselves. These people are not. So when they immediately see that video and it's not, they're not looking at you, they're looking at them.
It's a reminder of what they're not doing for themselves. It's a reminder of how far maybe they are away from achieving their goals and from feeling that moment of happiness like she has. Like, I hate that she even feels that way. That upsets me so much. She's one of the most beautiful people I've ever known. And when I look at her, I don't see flaws. I don't see when she'll get insecure about a certain thing or that. What she worries about is, does somebody think I think I'm too full of myself? See, it wasn't the comment about her appearance that upsets her. It's the question of her integrity as a person.
Sure.
That's always what it is with her. It's if somebody judges her character, her heart, her soul, and they just use her appearance as a way to get in there. And it's so messed up because she always puts everyone first. Like, she's always, like you said, every day going live, every day trying to support other people. Let her have her moment. Let her share her happiness and her joy. Like she said, nobody knows how many moments she had tearing herself down. Right. And that's why I think those comments do at times penetrate and get through to us, because we spent a lifetime of doing that to ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so those moments can creep in and then do hurt a little bit. It stings because that's the programming that you've always given to yourself. You've always talked bad to yourself. Yep. Right. And so you internalize that, and it's very, very hurtful. I'm so sorry that happened.
Yeah, me too.
It was just a weak moment. You know, we have weak moments.
Oh,
sometimes.
Goodness.
We can't be strong all the time.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
No.
And like you said, I mean, we put ourselves out there. For devotion, a lot of times somebody will say, they'll question, like when I put out my cookbook and I did a hard copy and it was $49.99. I mean, printing a hard copy in color 300 pages is not cheap. And I wasn't printing 100,000 of them. Like, it's not a volume run. We did a run and the book itself was very expensive to print. People were like, you're just trying to rip people off. And why would you charge that? And meanwhile, some of the nasty, ugly comments, I'm like, how dare you? This took me so long to work on. We've poured our heart and soul. This is 9 years of recipes. These are photos. These are colorful. This is so much work. And then worried about is that I'm trying to rip people off. I'm making a cookbook first of all these recipes are on my site for free. Yeah. I mean, go on and just take them then. Yeah. But like, we poured our heart and soul into this book and all you can do is cut. And then the funny thing is, it wasn't like, it was like, you're calling me like a person that would rip people off. Like, I'm trying to run a business. This is what I have to charge for the book to like make my money back. And then also like pay the people that you guys are working with? I mean, you know, how do they think everybody's getting paid and rent is being paid and insurance being paid and products are being paid for? We have to make a profit. This is a business. I'm not trying to act like I'm running a charity. Like we have to, in order to do things like this that I'm doing with you. I mean, it's all, but when people come out of business and they'll say, your prices are out of line, or you're not this, or you're not, it's like, how dare you think that like what I'm doing? And so I take it where they think I'm a crook, or I'm a thief, or I'm a, you know, trying to rip people off, or this is just, you know, and those comments used to bother me, like how you sat, and I would sit there and think like, is that what people think? Like that's what I'm doing? But
you're not, because look what we did yesterday and today, how much stuff we gave away for free.
Gave away for free.
Holy moly. So many things. I shoved so much stuff in those boxes. I filled them up with free stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, you didn't say a word about that.
No.
You know? So we know what your heart is. And like, you guys know that my heart is pure. Like, I know it is. Yep. I love myself, and I'm confident in myself. And there's times when I think like, girl, you look good. And then there's other times I think like, you got some work to do still. But it can be both. Like,
but they make you question, because then sometimes I'll be like, well, should I have been only like charging this, or should I be? But in the past, when I did that for my protein and I charged a hell of a lot less, my company almost went out of business because I was a people pleaser. And I was like, well, everybody wants me to be in line with Quest. Well, guess what? My protein isn't what Quest costs. And when I started finding out what those companies were paying for their protein compared to what Devotion was paying, I can't compete with that. So I'm either going to have to be the designer, the Bentley of proteins, and that's where I am. And if that's for you, but I had to finally get to that where, like, if I'm not for you and the brand isn't for you, that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
Go buy the other ones.
That's how we are on social. Yeah, you know, exactly. Like, I never, ever, ever think that I'm for everybody. Never. Sure. Because I know, like, I'm loud. I talk way too fast. I get that comment every day. Like, I try to work at that sometimes, but then I think, that's just me.
Yeah,
like,
why am I trying?
So you either love me or you don't. And it's okay. Like, honestly, with Teresa and I both, I can say, like, we're both genuine people. And even if people don't like us, we still like them. Like, we still want to support them. And, like, I follow a lot of women. I follow a lot of weight loss accounts, a lot of recipe accounts, things like that. I cannot tell you how happy it makes me to see somebody succeeding. Yeah. And, you know, we used to, you know, there's a saying, like, you don't sit, you know, when you sit at a table with women who are about growth and who are about positivity, like, the conversation changes. And I used to sit at tables where women talked about women and women put other women down. Yeah. And, oh, well, look at her. Her videos are all going viral. And why aren't mine going viral? You can't think like that.
It's not a competition.
You're never going to make it in life if you try to bring others down and think that you're going to rise. You're never going to succeed. You're never going to rise by putting other people down. Never. Yeah. Like, life does not work out that way. When you're a negative person, negative things are going to happen in your life. Yep. And until you change it, until you adapt a more positive mindset and a positive outlook on life, and you just wake up. Like, for me, I would wake up and it would take me so long to get out of bed. And then by the time I got to the bathroom to use the restroom, I was out of breath already. And so it would take me so long to get ready for work. Like, think of how much earlier I had to get up and make breakfast for my kids, and which it was donuts. Like, I was just shoving sugar down their throats because that was what I wanted. I wanted donuts, so they had donuts. I wanted a Big Mac, they had a Big Mac. You know, I'm surprised that both of my kids are not overweight. Like, I'm surprised that they don't have weight problems because of their childhood. Yeah. I continued that cycle. Like, what I grew up, and then that's how I did with my kids, you know? And so it's just, it's like changing your life. I wake up now, and the first thing I'm just like, I have so much joy. Like, I just want to roll over and kiss my husband if he's still in bed, which I'm always up before he is. But the second he comes down the hallway, which it's so funny because he'll come down the hallway and I'll say, good morning. He's like, don't start that. Don't start that. Good morning, Bobby. Like, that positive, you know. And he's like, my back hurts. My foot hurts. I had a lump on my pillow. And I'm like, but are you, like, we're alive.
Is he not a morning guy?
No, well, he's not. Bobby is not as a positive person as me. Okay. So my positivity drives him nuts sometimes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You know, and I will do it on purpose. Like, I'll be like, good morning, Bobby. He's like, don't start that good morning crap. And I'm just like,
the good morning crap.
Yeah, but for me, I literally can walk in the kitchen and make a cup of coffee and watch the sunrise out the window, and I'm filled with so much joy and peace, and just knowing that I have a purpose in life, and I have found that purpose. You know, my purpose in life, maybe it was to be a great mom, and I missed that. You know, to be like an active mom. I shouldn't say great mom because I was a great mom. I was always there for my kids. But maybe it's to be this beacon, like what Teresa says. Maybe it's to shine so bright that everybody else shines around you. You know, because I know that there are women and men too. Like, I know people are out there probably binge eating as they listen to this, probably have already binge ate today or will tonight, and they want to change their life, but they don't know how, and they're miserable, and they don't have a comfortable moment because nothing fits. Everything is tight. You feel like you're suffocating. Like for me, I had to sleep on my side for almost 30 years. I had to sleep on my side because I couldn't sleep on my back because I would suffocate. Like I was so heavy. I couldn't lay on my stomach because how are you going to lay on a big stomach in front? You can't. So I slept on my side forever, like forever. So now, like, I will sleep on my back on purpose. I will sleep on my stomach on purpose. I was tanning this summer in Mexico on my stomach and just had a moment of like, what is this life? Like, is this a life that everyone just takes for granted? Because I've never even tanned on my stomach, and I'm 46 years old, but I've done it now. I've never been on the beach in a swimsuit. Never. Like I would rather have died first back in the day. Yeah. I didn't even own a swimsuit. Now I have like 25 swimsuits. I cannot wait to put a different swimsuit on. And so it's just, there are so many days where I need to just pinch myself and be like, what is this life I'm living? Like, I think there are people that take it for granted, but I'm trying to just let people know like how special life is. You all have a purpose. Everyone has a purpose. And maybe it's walking in your driveway and tough loving people until they get up and walk with you. Maybe that's it. But for me, I know it's being the best grandma that I can be. It's being the best wife that I can be. It's being with this one and doing these trips like this and meeting people and inspiring people to where they're like, you know what? If they can do it, then they can be at their lowest of lows, because it's the lowest of lows when you can't get up and help your family. Like when you can't get up and help your mom, or you can't get up to get to your grandbaby. It's the lowest of lows. Well, those are the moments, you know? And I've said it like, I hope you guys don't ever have to have that moment. I hope you just do it because you don't have a moment. Right. But 9 times out of 10, you have to have a moment like that. Like here we both sit, we both had a moment. Like there's some kind of pivotal something that happens that just, it clicks in your brain. Like, I'm doing this. Come hell or high water, I'm doing it this time. This time, I'm not going to stop. And so I won't have to just keep starting over. If you don't stop, like what if this right now, like what if someone's listening to this and tomorrow they start, or right now they start, they never stop. This is the last time you have to start. You don't ever have to start again because you've never stopped.
Until it's done.
Yes,
you
until
stay
it's done.
Devoted. We gave out those stickers in the order today. I ran over and I was like, put these stickers in the orders. I want people to stick these places. It always seems impossible until it's done. And you stay, when you're devoted, it's never done. Mm-hmm. Yep. Like, and when people would say, "Oh, Dana, when are you gonna be off this like healthy eating thing? When are you?" What do you mean? Until it's done, and it's never done. This is my lifestyle.
We get that too. Like
this journey is never over. They're like, oh, well, you guys are done. You're not there anymore. No, we are constantly learning. We are constantly growing. And if you think you're done, like, you're so wrong. Mm-hmm. I feel sad for you. Yeah. Like, no, keep growing, keep evolving, keep striving to be the very best version of yourself. Yep.
Until it's done. When we rebranded, our old hashtag or our old thing was ignite your passion, because it's like I was so passionate about what I was doing, and I just I felt it. But then when we rebranded and we'd said like until it's done, because it's like when people would say like, when are you stopping, or like, when is this? Never. Like, I'm devoted for life. I'm devoted for life.
This is the new me. Like, this is the new us. Yeah. Like, it isn't. I get that all the time as well. Like, when are you going to eat normal? This is normal. Yeah. Like, this is normal. I love this. This is not something
this is
just
for a lifetime.
For right now. Yeah. It's
and you're
forever.
devoted to yourself, your goals, your family, your all the things. Yeah. So that's what I love about. I mean, I was so glad I was able to use the word devotion. I mean, when you really think about it, like, I know we say like, oh, devotion, but like really like the word devotion
is very powerful.
You have to be devoted. You have to be. If you're not, you will never succeed.
Yep.
If we weren't devoted, we would still weigh over 600 pounds. Tonya would weigh 430. How much together we've lost? I can't remember. Is it almost 800?
Yeah.
We've lost almost 800 pounds. That is devotion. That is getting up every single day in spite of how you feel, and you are committed to becoming the best, healthiest version of yourself. And then we share that commitment. We share that devotion. In every way.
We want to lift others up, you know, and like, and we have to know too, like we're on the tail end, like not the tail end because it's going to go on, but we're at different spots.
Yep.
And people are just starting out and they're scared to death that they're going to fail, because that's what I was. I was scared to death.
But this is why people like you are doing what you're doing to say like, hey, like you may have felt alone, but they're not alone. Like we're here. And this is why I love it that like the podcast can also introduce you to people that maybe you didn't even, maybe they're not following you and now they can. Like if you feel alone, like there are people out there who are there to lift you up and to share their journey and all the things.
For free. Download TikTok. It's free.
Yes.
We're live all the time. Yeah. We're posting recipes every day. She posts
TikTok.
recipes. We're on Instagram.
Going live.
I'm on Facebook. Like it's for free. Like you can get these recipes for free. You can get all of these motivational things, and you can see people walking and people dressing like they've never dressed before.
And just start watching,
you know?
Even if it doesn't click immediately or you're still kind of, I feel like it's like if you keep showing up to the positivity, it starts to really sink in and it starts to make, and then you see the consistency of like you guys like showing up, doing the things, doing your walking, doing your, and then you see like, okay, like that, what is she doing? She's just being consistent.
Yeah. Positivity wins every day.
Every day.
For me, every day. Like no matter what, no matter if I had a weak moment last night about a dang comment, but still yesterday I was on the beach. I was on the pier.
Yes. You're surrounding yourself with positive people.
Yes.
So that comment hopefully it's like, I mean, it should have just been minimized to dropped away, because here you are with women who like obviously do not feel that way about you. And if we thought, hey girl, you're feeling yourself a little too much, we're going to tell you. Like, you know?
Calm down, girl. Calm down.
Listen, you think, okay, bougie. Okay, bougie. Let's take it down a couple of notches.
Exactly.
Red over here. Let's take it down.
Yeah.
But we don't. Like, I can honestly tell you, every time we've walked out of our room, and because we have to have separate rooms because we just do because of her. I try to sleep a little, and she doesn't because she's on the phone.
I need quiet time. I'm the girl that goes off by myself.
You are not
bit.
quiet at night.
Okay, I'm also FaceTiming my fiance.
All night long.
Truth be told.
Yes. So now the truth comes. The truth shall set you free.
Right.
But we walk out and we're ready. Like yesterday, for example, she walks out and it's just, I'm in awe of her beauty. Like I'm just like, when I met you, you were gorgeous, but your light was not as bright as it is now, because you have found love. A love for yourself, a love for Mike, a love for this life that we're living, and the same with her. I walk out and she's always, oh my gosh, you're beautiful.
Yeah, you guys are glowing.
It's just, it's so nice to be around people who just want everyone to be beautiful as well.
Yes.
And not beautiful on the outside, on the inside. Like
no,
I'm looking
it's
for
an
people
outside,
on the
but
inside.
like you said, you see them and it's radiating.
Yeah.
It's the vibe, it's the swag, it's the like the swagger, the like, you know, and that's.
We have so many moments where her and I are doing just simple little things, and we look up and we look and we just smile and we nod, and we both know that we're like, we both get taken back. Her to the couch, me to my chair, and we're both like, okay, that's where we came from. Look where we are now. It's constant where we just look, and we're like, we are so grateful, so blessed, and we both. That's the most important thing we think, is that neither one of us take this for granted. We never asked for it. We are blessed with it, and we feel that we have a responsibility to help really genuinely uplift as many people as we possibly can.
Yeah, we've been given this amazing platform. You know, we didn't know this was going to happen. I got on TikTok because it was the corona and I was losing my mind taking care of my mom and grandbaby. And I just started posting recipes. Never showed my face. I only showed my hands. I was cooking. I did like grapes, like sugar-free Jell-O grapes was the first recipe I ever shared. I never even showed my face. And then I shared one transformation and it went viral. And everyone was like, we had no idea. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why have you not showed this before? We followed you for your recipes. The recipes are great. And so we feel like we've been given this blessing. This is a huge blessing to have a platform where people can come every day and feel motivated and inspired. And so it's our duty. Like when you're giving something, then you give back.
Yes.
You don't just take. You don't ever take. I never want to just take things in life and never give back. You know, like you with us. I mean, God is out here and our just treating us like royalty. We said that yesterday. Like, this is the best trip that we've ever been on. Like, we've never been treated. It's just amazing
to go your whole life and be treated, because when you are obese, you are treated as though you are not wanted. Yeah. You want to be not seen or heard when you are obese. And to be treated with such value, to be treated as equals with people, it's very powerful. And to be able to sit, like she said, at the table with other women who are all about uplifting others and actively working toward uplifting others, like literally going, what can we do? Yeah. How can we make somebody's day better today? That is the space that I want to inhabit with you girls.
Like our Uber driver last night. Like, he wrote lyrics to a song, and he was like, I wrote this song, guys, just the lyrics, but I'm not singing it. But when you listen to it, we danced, we pumped him up. We were like, hey, sir. I thought it said banana. It was like, I thought it was saying go banana. She thought it was saying go what?
Go girl. It was like, I don't even know what it was.
You couldn't understand it. And
but we hyped him up.
Yeah. And it was just like, we got out of the car and he was smiling ear to ear. And like, that's what you do.
Make a difference in the world.
You just make people's day every chance you get. Make someone's day every chance you get. Because why not?
I love it. And I'm so obsessed with you ladies. I love it. I love your vibe. I love everything you're putting out. I wish we could keep doing this because, I mean, if you guys were local, we'd be like doing this every day.
I know. We love you too.
Well, all right. Well, I want to go give you. We're gonna shut this down because I'm gonna give you another experience. We're gonna go to my mom's house. I'm taking you home.
I know.
I'm taking you home. Like,
go to Mama's.
I must love you guys if I'm taking you to Mama's.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, thank you for being here. Thank you. I know that both episodes, are going to be real powerful. Huge successes. I can't wait for everyone to listen.
Thank you, Dana.
And,
thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening to another episode of Until It's Done, a devoted podcast.
Bye, guys.
Bye.